Hi guys, welcome back to The Forgetful Scholar, and this week we're gonna chat about one book, just one book, but like, it was the holidays, okay? One book, all right? But like, I loved it. It's a 5 stars. I had so much fun. Anyway, okay, it's called The Hexologist, Book 1 by Josiah Bancroft. It's 303 pages and published 2023. I've had this in my TBR for a while. How to describe this baby? It like historical but not, mystery, fantasy, suspense. I think it's under the tags of like fantasy adventure, fantasy suspense, things like that. I say it's historical, but it's not, because it feels like a magical version of the late 1800s, early 1900s in England, via the Industrial Revolution. But you do get a date in the beginning of their investigation, and it's year 4000, like 10 or 15 years after the year 4038, because 4038 is when they found a picture of their client 15 years ago. So that's what it is. The magic system is a lot of fun. It's interesting. I like when magic systems try something different, especially with hexology. Like the Babylon Boys, where hexology was kind of grotesque. In this, it's very like artistic. And at one point, the main character's mother said that it's like 10% magic. Like, it's like studying magic with an art degree or something like that. And I thought that was a lot of fun. So this is sort of like Warehouse 13. So if you know what Warehouse 13, oh gosh, I'm all over the place today. So Warehouse 13 was a sci-fi show in like what I like to call the golden age of sci-fi shows. It had 2 special agents that went around collecting items that were imbued by their users because of like a lot of emotion to do things. Like Nikola Tesla has like their ray gun is like a stun gun, and it's from Nikola Tesla. It's not always famous people, but like I remember one episode, a judge that liked to sentence people to the electric chair. His chair in his office, if you sit in it, you get electrocuted. Things like that. I'm not making any sense, like at all. Anyway, and kind of the Addams Family. So I had so much fun with this. It's 5 stars for me. I had a great ride. And I'm happy because it's been on my TBR for a while, and I'm happy I finally read it because I've been wanting to read it, but another part of me is like, but it sounds so cool. What if I hate it? And I hate when my brain does that. So I'm happy I read it. I had a great time. I'm going to enjoy this author. The magic system is really interesting. And okay, so there's sort of a hierarchy. Wizards and necromancers were killed off during the last war, and are like, especially necromancy is no longer practiced, right? Hexology and alchemy are, and alchemists, it's really interesting how they're playing on it. Alchemists basically can open up a portal to hell, and that's how the world is fueled. So not like coal, but like, well, coal from hell. So I'm like, oh, that's gonna cause problems, and it does. Not as much as you think, so maybe it'll ramp up. So we are following these 2 hexologists. They are a married couple on a team, Iz and Warren. And let me just tell you, I love Grumpy Sunshine. It's one of my favorites. And when it's reversed, because usually it's Grumpy Guy, Sunshine Girl, but when it's reversed, when he is the sunshine and she is the grump, I just love it like 50% more. I can't help it. I love it so much. So Warren is just a cinnamon roll in like a tank of a body. He is so wonderful and so sweet. At one point they have to go to an orphanage, and he's like, if I start right now, I'll have enough. And she's like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, we're going to the orphanage. I have to make biscuits, or for Americans, cookies. You know, like, he's just, and she's so prickly. Like, I want to say prickly as a pear, but pears aren't really prickly, right? Except for literally prickly pear. She's prickly as a cactus. That's what she is. And if my lighting is weird, it's because this is like the one day out of the year it's raining here. So, she's so prickly to everyone except Warren. You know what I mean? Which is absolutely adorable. She kind of comes off as an ice queen, but she's actually really deep. It's just that she kind of prioritizes, well, I can't break apart now. I got shit to do. I'll think about it later. Or I don't want to think about it, so let me continue with the case. So they are hexologists and basically private investigators, right? I love the world building. I have a hair on my nose and I'm like, oh. I love the world building. It doesn't feel monologued. It's sprinkled in there. Basically, the king's secretary comes to them as like, hey, the king is trying to cook himself. He keeps trying in a fugue state to go into the oven. Can you find out what's going on? So that starts off the book. So it's not so much a murder mystery, although people die. And sometimes it is visceral. Anyway, it's a good story. So that starts off like the whole case, and it just can't, it's only 2 years old, so I don't want to spoil the ending, but the twist ending was twisty, and twist endings are complicated, right? Because you want it to surprise the audience, but you also don't want to give too many clues away. So thinking back on it, I think there was just enough clues to let you know how the twist was, like, who really is behind it all, but not enough for you to guess before. I certainly didn't. So that, check mark in the right column, right? There's so much going on, but I enjoyed it so much. And you kind of find out that her father was an adventurer and not so much a hexologist, but a collector of unique things, and they have a bag. This is where the Warehouse 13 kind of thing. It's like a magical bag of holding that just has all of the cursed, some would say, magical items her father has procured throughout his life. I will say, and this isn't a spoiler, I don't think, but they do get, like, in the bag, they get a guard dog, which is an interesting guard dog, a talking dragon that wears glasses, and I love him, and he is amazing. And when I first read it, I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then I was like, is this juvenile? Does this dumb this book down? And I was like, no, it doesn't. It's not. It doesn't. This so easily could have felt like a young adult moment. It wasn't. It wasn't at all. Because the dragon just feels like a cranky, no, not cranky, but a caretaker, like guardian of the bag. And you could easily forget that he is a dragon until he, does dragon things. Like, oh, it's so hard when you read one book and I want to tell you guys and share it, but like, I don't want to give it away because I want you guys to enjoy it. But I'm trying to give you guys enough to like give it a chance. You know what I mean? Again, I'm in a weird mood today, like more hyper than normal, probably because it's like a cloudy day and that does my little elder goth heart happy, I guess. So, so they're on the case. Basically, the king is being blackmailed by someone who believes is their bastard child. And Iz and Warren are on the case. They don't want to at first because they are not royalists. They don't like the monarchy. But Warren was right in saying, when the nobles fight, it's everybody else that pays the price, you know? So he doesn't want people to die in the street because of these idiots, right? So that's why he takes it. Why he convinces Iz to take it. And why it's a little Addams Family-esque. Because there's like darker, because the magic's kind of dark. But Morticia and Gomez Addams, I always like them as a couple because they're deeply in love, right? But they also seem like best friends, right? They have this kind of air to them that it's like them against the world. Iz and Warren are like that. They're deeply in love, but they're also, you could tell they're best friends. They legitimately like to hang out together. And it does feel like them against everybody. And I just love their relationship so much. They are so cute. And this book had funny, like, it has funny moments too that kind of surprise me, like little quibs. Iz is going to interrogate a high roller or a whale on a gambling ship, and the captain of the ship is a friend of hers. And he's like, Iz, they're a high roller, you know, I don't own this ship, you know. And she's like, I'll be discreet. And he's like, oh good, I'll have the fire brigade ready, you know, like funny things like that, right? I like the action scenes. There were a couple of scenes when they got cornered or separated or something was going on. And I was like, ooh, how are they going to get out of this, you know? And the world kind of unfolds as it goes along. Does it feel a little bit like maybe the author just kind of put things in where he needed it to continue the story? Maybe it wasn't planned from the beginning? I don't think so. I think the author had a clear plan where his story, where his story was going. And I liked it. This world is so rich, and at one point she puts on a ring that helps her go shadow swimming, and there's like a Cthulhu tongue monster underneath it. So like the magic has a sense of you don't really control it, especially with Iz. She's the one that is a hexologist, and Warren is like her emotional support. I don't know, he's great. And before you think Warner's just like the muscle, even though he was a boxer and he's built like a tank and he does a lot of the tanky things, he's so smart. Like, I love that for both of them. They are full characters in themselves and they mesh so well together, you know? But the magic system in this feels like there is costs, you know? Now, the royal conspiracy intrigue just twists and turns, and once you think you know what's going on, there's a left turn, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? But not dramatic enough to be like, oh, that's a cop-out, because it never felt like that. It never felt like that. Now, the ending, okay, so I liked the ending, but it definitely lent itself to like, hey, there's a bigger story going on. Like, this is definitely, you can read it as a standalone, but this is definitely the first step in a very long story that is going to be told. Like, it seems like it's going to be episodic, but like an overarching bad guy. And I'm here for it. And I'm excited because the bad guy, I'm like, oh, like the mastermind behind everything. I'm like, oh, that's not good. That is really, really not good. And it comes with like a map. So when I open it, I love maps and books. And when I looked at it, it wasn't what I expected. Exactly. It is a map, but it's sort of like a diagram showing more of the magic system. And like, and yes, the font of magic and, you know, the spleen, if that, like, it's probably not gonna come out, but like that is so interesting. Of course, like the town, but like that, like the city they're in, but that is so interesting. And like slightly, look at that, like that's where all the magic comes from. Slightly disturbing. And that's the thing about the magic in this, it's interesting but slightly disturbing, and I'm here for it and I love it, and give me more. So I'm really excited about the second book, right? I just love Iz and Warren so much. They're so cute. And I'm a romance reader, you know, and usually romance books end when, you know, they get married or they decide to stay together. And, you know, if it's, sometimes the romance writer will have stories around that first couple, so you can kind of peek in to see how they're doing. But like, it's kind of nice to see an established, healthy, loving relationship as the center of the book and like not the drama going around, you know, like they're solid. The drama is everything else around them. You know what I mean? It's just really sweet, and I really enjoyed myself, and I haven't heard anybody talk about this book, which is a shame, but I had a great time. I will say, like, overarching mystery, if this was a mystery, I'd probably give it a lower star, just because I do feel like some of the clues only happened at the end, so you couldn't figure it out before the characters. But it's not marketed as a mystery, it's marketed as like a suspense adventure fantasy. So for that, 5 stars. I had so much fun. I can't wait to the next one, which I actually have, so yay me. But so that's something. So if you're going this for a mystery, there is a mystery going on, but the mystery itself is probably like 3.5, because like I said, you don't get all the pieces till like the very end, and I hate when mysteries do that. But this isn't a mystery, it's an adventure, and boy, I had fun. I had quite the adventure on it, and I loved it. Have I said I like this book enough yet? Have I said that sentence enough? I think so. Okay, I'm gonna go. I don't want too much time for me to get back to the real world. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.